Hello everyone, today we have a review of the Boddenly Premium USB Type-C hub. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. So this thing is a docking station kind of thing. So we got our manual here. That looks like this whole side is Chinese. So this side seems to be English. So we got a first generation 5.5 gigabit per second transfer rate. This thing's kind of designed so you have some USBs, all your essentials, as well as charging and everything. So we'll try this out on Windows and Mac just to see how it's doing. The new Macs now only take USB Type-C, so that will be useful if this thing does a good job. So let's go ahead and look at the product here. Okay, so it comes in a nice case, nice and shiny. Okay, so we can see so it looks like on this side, so we have our HDMI right here, we have our VGA right here, so you can have, looks like you can have two monitors at the same time, but once again we'll test that, make sure it works. On the other side, looks like there's, obviously this goes into the computer, and then it looks like we have a charging port so that you can power this, and then you have two USBs. Both seem to be 3.0, as it says right there. And then we have our Ethernet port for the internet connection. So cool. Let's go ahead and try it out. Okay, so I have my Mac here. This is the new MacBook Pro with the touch bar. So I am going to plug this in. So currently I have an HDMI, a VGA plugged in here. I have an Ethernet cord that is going to it's a wireless to Ethernet converter, so it's basically the same thing as being plugged in, but then the signal goes through that box to Wi-Fi. So I'm going to just go ahead and try it without the power source. I do have a power source right here. I'm going to try that later. So let's go ahead and plug this in just directly, and we'll see if these two displays pop up. Okay, so it's detecting something, and we have one display. Gotta turn this one off because it's funky. And do we have checking signal? Okay, so we have one of two right off the bat. Okay, so let's try plugging the power cable in, and then maybe we'll have enough power. And right now it is not charging. No signal. Okay, so let's try unplugging this one. Okay, so I unplugged the HDMI cord and the VGA now shows. So let me try plugging back in the HDMI. Okay, so it seems like it doesn't work with two monitors. It seems like we can only have one at a time, and this thing won't allow it to do two. So if you have a dual monitor setup and you were hoping to use that, I'm not sure if it's going to work. Let me go ahead and I will try using a mouse and keyboard and then shutting the display. Maybe you can only use two displays. Maybe you can only use two. So if we cut out the laptop screen, maybe it will come up on both monitors. So let me go ahead and grab that cable and see if we can get that. Okay, so I just plugged in a mouse and keyboard. Now I'm going to go ahead and try and turn off. I just want to make sure the settings are right here for when I close the lid. close this, it should still stay on. Nope, so it only does one screen. Oh, that's a bummer. Alright, well, anyway, so even after plugging in a keyboard and mouse, getting rid of one of the displays here, so now I can open this back up. It works for one monitor, additional monitor at least, but not two. So there we go. So I tried this also out on my PC, so I have a USB dongle for the keyboard and mouse, which seemed to work, the Ethernet, and I have a VGA running to a monitor, but I don't see anything coming up on the monitor, so I don't know if it's really working. So let's go ahead and I think I'll try and re-plug in the USB just to see what it gives me. And I believe the display, it gives me some error trying to improve the USB connection. So it recognizes that it's there, but it won't really work with a monitor. So everything else works fine. You can still use the USB, the Ethernet port, but that monitor doesn't work on my computer, at least for Windows. So I can't really say that it works for me.